Hello and welcome to Morehead Today. Today's date is October 19th, 2010. I'm your host, Gary Cornett. Thank you for joining us. On Morehead Today, we inform the citizens of Morehead about current events and projects occurring in the area, as well as highlight local artists and performers. You can contact Morehead Today by emailing moreheadtoday@gmail.com, and you can view previous episodes online at youtube.com/moreheadtoday. On today's show, Shayla Menville speaks with Dr. Sue Cressup about saving the animals of Rowan. In the studio with me today is Glenn Teeger to discuss the Sunnybrook Recreation Center project. We also have local musician Sasha Collette here, and we'll bring you some coming events in our community calendar. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to Morehead Today. STAR stands for Saving the Animals of Rowan, a project which has sprung up recently with intentions of stopping euthanasia at the local pound. Dr. Sue Cressup of the Morehead State University Music Department spoke with Morehead Today about how STAR is saving the lives of man's best friends. Shayla Menville has the story.
In an effort to save dogs from the overcrowded Rowan County dog pound, Saving the Animals of Rowan was formed. Dr. Sue Cressup, MSU music professor, spoke with Morehead Today about the mission of STAR.
STAR is short for Saving the Animals of Rowan, and it is a group that is dedicated to stopping the euthanasia rate here in Rowan County with the local dog pound. We formed in about 2006, and at that point the euthanasia rate was probably 30 to 50 dogs a month, and we are now down to less than that per year.
Dr. Cressup explained that many animals saved by STAR find homes outside of Kentucky.
We typically move dogs to states where they have wonderful spay-neuter programs and don't have dogs for people to adopt that are rescue dogs. So the local rate is much, much lower than our national rate, which is, last year we moved 871 dogs, and of the 871, probably 50 were local, and the others went to probably 47 different states.
While the group does its best to save any animal they can, STAR focuses primarily on dogs due to the resources at hand.
We really do not have the facilities or the resources to take care of anything other than dogs, because that was what our formation articles of incorporation, that's what they said, that we would take care of dogs, because the immediate issue was the euthanasia rate at the dog pound. We have helped some cats, some kittens. I fostered 2 bunnies. We've done a goat or 2, a cow, 3 horses, a pig. We had a pig last year. So we have a few extraneous things, but they usually come in with families that have some problems with dogs.
Dr. Cressup tells Morehead Today that STAR works with the local dog pound, and the pound should be the first contact for dealing with stray dogs.
If they call the dog pound, we work very, very closely with Jimmy Hale, who is the dog warden. He's out on leave right now, and so we've been working with Nick. And you know, I don't know Nick's last name, but I work with Nick all the time, and they've been very cooperative. They come in and they make sure the dogs get their first vaccinations. And if it's a dog that is injured or pregnant or needs immediate assistance, they call us right away, and then we go down and see what we can do to take care of the situation.
Overpopulation of dogs in Rowan County may be to blame for the higher number of dogs that end up in Rowan's pound, as Cressup explains.
I think the biggest concern that we have found here in Rowan County is that we need stronger spay and neuter laws. We need people to understand that it may be cute to have a litter of puppies, but then when that litter of puppies has a litter of puppies and that litter has a litter, then we have an overpopulation rate. The concern in Rowan County is that there simply are not enough good homes for the number of dogs that are put out each year because we don't have good spay and neuter laws. The other concern is vaccinations. We lost some of the most beautiful puppies I've ever seen last year to parvo. And that could have been prevented had the mother had her vaccinations, and then the puppies if they'd been vaccinated in a timely manner, but by the time we got them it was too late.
STAR also works with PetFinder.com in an effort to find homes for more dogs via the internet.
Our website, you can just look us up under STAR, Saving the Animals of Rowan. You can also go to PetFinders.com and look for 40351 and just put us in, and you'll see the dogs that we have up for adoption. Not every dog on that site will be found at the dog pound. Because the dog pound frequently gets overloaded, sometimes we pull them out, and we do have foster homes. We could use many, many more foster homes. We could save so many more dogs if we had a place to put them. We work in collaboration with Gail Templeton and Scott Templeton. They have the Tin Wolf Inn, which is a boarding kennel, and so a lot of our dogs go there to await their rides to their rescues. This morning I handled a situation on the way over here. We have a family who lost their home. They have two wonderful dogs that have been with them their entire lives. And when they lost their home, they had to move into a place that did not take pets. They gave us a call, or actually we found them through a different source, and we are taking their dogs from them and putting them in a rescue. One of the dogs happens to be very close to delivery, so she will have her puppies in a foster home. But if we had more foster homes, we could help more people much more quickly.
While STAR is making strides to save as many dogs as they can through adoption, they are also trying to improve the conditions that the animals must endure at the local shelter. In addition to being overcrowded, the current shelter is located in an area that frequently floods, and sometimes the dogs must be evacuated due to the high water. Cressup tells Morehead Today that STAR is looking for help in many forms.
We are 501c3. All donations are tax deductible, and we welcome any donations of time, money, bedding. We have plenty of dog food. We do get that from a really good source. But I think the biggest thing is we need people to help drive dogs to their rescues, and we need people to help us foster dogs. The community is becoming more and more involved with STAR. We have more and more wonderful members that are fostering dogs and helping to transport. In fact, one of our graduate students helped yesterday and took a dog to Cincinnati that needed a ride, so she drove it last night after she got off work. So it's welcoming to see and refreshing to see that all the students are involved. I'm the director of the marching band here at Morehead State, and so many of my students offer to assist in some way or another. Sometimes somebody will drop off a puppy and I need somebody to play with it while I teach a class, and of course always can find students to play with puppies. But I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today, and if they have any questions, they can contact me at the music department.
For Morehead Today, I'm Shayla Minville reporting.
You can find STAR online at petfinder.com or at starrescue.org. Morehead Today will be right back. Welcome back to Morehead Today. My guest in the studio today is Glenn Teeger, Finance Officer for the Rowan County School Board and City Councilman. Thanks for coming in, Glenn.
Thank you for the opportunity, Gary.
Tell us a little bit about the Sunnybrook Recreation Project. The
Sunnybrook project actually came to life through the generosity, I feel the generosity of Dr. Wayne Andrews. The property on US 60 East became available when MSU closed its 9-hole golf course and went into the Eagle Trace golf course business about 3 or 4 years ago, and the university certainly owns that property and could do what they want with it, but Dr. Andrews really felt like there was some possibilities for an asset for this entire community as well as MSU, and in looking at that property in different ways. So he came to some of the representatives from the school board, the city council, and the fiscal court and asked each of us if we would partner in a cooperative agreement, at least to do the planning stages of just kind of looking at what could be done on that property. And so those 4 entities did come together and shared the cost of the architecture fee, and just to come up with a concept, and we're kind of at that stage right now.
All right. What kind of facilities are in mind for this project?
There was a committee formed to just kind of get something on the board. I think that's one thing that people need to understand. At this time, it's purely a conceptual idea. And the goal with our committee is to kind of get something on a board so that when monies become available, we would have a plan in place. So that as we looked at the property, MSU came to the table with certain needs as part of their long-term plans for their facilities. And the biggest things there being a softball and baseball stadium with practice fields for the MSU teams. And that takes up a good part of the property, but not near all of it. That left quite a bit of acreage. I think there's a total of 150 acres up there, and about 85 of them are flat. And so we looked at kind of the other side and looked at what facilities are in the area now and what needs we have as far as the number of people signing up for different organized sports, the idea of having multi-purpose fields that could be used for a lot of different things, whether it's frisbee golf or just running your dog or those kind of things, and tried to find out what we could fit on that piece of property that was remaining, and at this point at least feel like we were satisfying the needs that we had determined. Since then, we've had public forums asking for more input. There's a website I think you can allude to, asking for additional information of what people would like to see there. And again, I think the big idea is that it has to be understood that it's conceptual at the time, gives us something to kind of lobby with our legislators for future funding.
I understand that there are plans for hiking trails and possibly this for the Sunnybrook Center to be connected to Morehead by the Rails to Trails project.
That's something we'd really like to. I started to say dream. It shouldn't be a dream. It's a goal. It's something that we'd like to achieve. There's a lot of land out there that's not flat that would have great hiking and biking trails. And then even as we started laying things on the property, whether it be baseball fields or tennis courts or future pool areas, we tried to map out trails within the park even that would be flat and different levels, whether it be a half a mile walk around a certain area, or you could walk possibly a mile and a half on a paved trail. But in addition to that, there would be a little more difficult trails in the woods and up and down the hills. At the same time, the Rails to Trails program is not that far away from having easements to be able to get up to that point. We felt like that would be a goal for them as well as us to be able to tie that in, ideally with maybe a park at the existing city park or at Rodman Park, be able to get on a bike and ride all the way up to this property. This property is about 3.5 miles east of Morehead, so that's not too far, certainly on a bike and for a lot of runners as well.
Is there a projected time frame for this project?
Time frame, really, our time frame as far as our committee was to try to get something in place sometime during this year as far as the concept on a map and understanding of what could be there. Again, a lot of these kind of projects are going to depend on funding, but you have to start with a plan. You have to be ready. If the legislatures call you in the middle of the session in March or April and say, look, we've got a chance to throw some money at Morehead, have you all got anything that you'd really like to see done? This is where we step in and say, yeah, we really do. We have this plan that we've been looking at. It's a cooperative agreement, which means a lot to the legislators when you have an agreement between city, county, MSU, and the school board. That kind of gives us our opportunity. There's a lot that would need to be done. There's some infrastructure that has to be put in place that would probably fall into transportation monies as far as bridge replacements. There's currently a one-lane bridge there. We see a necessity for two-lane bridges. There's also infrastructure needed as far as sewer lines that would need to be brought there, so that could come in another pot of money. So again, you have to get these plans together so that when the funding is available, you can say, we're ready.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in and tell us about this, Glenn. We're going to take a break, and Morehead Today will be right back.
Thank you, Gary.